roll. We're going to get started. I know we've got one tight schedule. May God bless you all here. And we come to bless you all until this evening. Those of you who woke up to 5:30 class, you guys had a good class this morning. Praise God. Praise God. Yes, it was amazing. Well, amen. I was excited. I've been up 2 hours before the class even got started. I think I was actually trying to prepare for the calls that may come in, but it's actually the easiest, I'd say the smoothest year we've ever had in the beginning of a trimester. So that must mean the new system is a good system, because usually I tell you, call the phone would be ringing on Monday mornings, but nobody called this morning. Nobody. You know, I mean, you guys checked in because I was out checking in with you. Like, are you in? Are you there? But must have been good. I mean, it was a good transition. So I just look forward to that. It's going to be a great year. I mean, I have a great expectation, this year. Yeah. A couple of questions on that before we get started. And there's just something I want to share with you as God was sharing with me just getting started. When we go back into a new journey. Going back, we started a new year, new journey. Usually there's an excitement, anticipation, of what that is, and sometimes, it comes with a little anxiety, sometimes with a little hesitation of the unknown, because we don't like not knowing. Amen. People of faith don't like not knowing. That's the life that we live. We're not too comfortable with the unknown, with the unfamiliar. And so when we're starting back into a new journey, even though it's maybe something we've been into, it's like, well, I still don't know this professor, I still don't know this class, or I've been in school, I don't know what to expect from this type of situation. This is not the way I'm used to, going to school or going to class. And so a lot of things come in that journey of the unknown, and so we usually are not very comfortable with that, and so that tends to be a pretty hard transition at times. But I just want to share with you that as we go in, your attitude will determine your outcome, and then as we start this brand new season. And I just want you to have an expectation of more, expectation of great. And also, with that expectation comes the expectation of there will be some problems. Amen. There will be some trials. Amen. There will be life. Amen. That will come in the midst of your classes, in the midst of your research papers and terms and midterms and all of that comes. And even though some of you have experienced that before, it's still when it comes, sometimes we ask like, what is this, or why is this? And so I just wanted to give you a few words of encouragement as we all get ready to start this new journey together for this school year. And so I'll look back to it. First of all, let me just say thank God for life, and that life today that we're celebrating a couple actually today. My wife's birthday is today. Amen. Professora. How do you say that? People don't even, I didn't make that name back. Professora. And then Lamar, I guess his birthday today. And then Michael Jackson. Oh, sorry. It really is birthday. But we just thank God for the lives and for seeing both of them make it another year. Amen. And for these blessings for you guys. How are we looking on our presentation here? I see a head shaking. I see a thumb down. And so that really is a big piece of my segment today. So, if you what? Give you 2 minutes? Okay, 2 minutes. So if somebody has some places like to share would you encourage someone else as far as the students encouragement for this year as we start, or for the students that are watching? Anybody have something you'd like to express the other students with? Something in your heart?
Well, before this trimester started, before this trimester started, I was very skeptical. I didn't want to go back to school. I was telling my husband, I'm just going to take this trimester off. I'm not going to graduate on time anyways, so I'm just going to sit this one out. But going back to school this morning at 5:30 a.m. has really blessed me, believe it or not. I don't know, that's kind of ungodly getting up that early, but it blessed me. They're doing things a little differently this year as far as turning assignments in on time, like we should be. But they're also very gracious, and they're mapping things out where they set you up where you can't fail. And so it's just been great. Like, as hesitant as I was coming back to school this trimester, I'm really excited. God's really been speaking that He's doing a new thing in this season. That just seems to be the theme, yes, of this trimester. So just receive that and just be blessed, and we're all going to succeed. He brought us to it. He's going to bring us through it.
I just want to say real quick that it's always a blessing, even though, like I said, it happened before, but to see my co-peers, I say the other students that are in class with me, when people log in from Russia, and Pakistan, into the class, I'm just like amazed, always wondered that you're connected like that. And that experience to happen. I mean, and all over the world, even so to speak, to other states and everything that are represented, because there's nothing you can have in that class. Like if we went to a school just right here, as much as I love people in Stockton, I'm so glad that I have other people with other experiences and be able to hear different aspects of ministry and what's going on. One of my brothers from Russia this morning was sharing with us that, the summer was an exciting summer for them there. And he's actually from Africa, but he's living in Russia doing ministry work and mission work there in Russia. And so they got a little challenging because the laws changed this year. And what happened is that now it's illegal for you to invite someone to church. So you can be arrested if somebody goes and tells that you invited them to church. You can get arrested now. And I'm just listening to that, and I'm like, and they're still, he's like, and the work is amazing, and we're excited about what's going on. And I'm just like, wow, listen to that. We'll be like, oh my, you know what? I can't get nobody to church now. They're arresting people now. I'm not going to jail. What we going to do now? I'm going to get on the internet or something, girl. Like, I ain't going to invite nobody. I ain't risking my life like that. But I'm saying that he's excited, and they're going through that challenge, still determined to lead people to Christ, everything. And that's the big application we get within our area of, the United States, on why we can't do what we do. But, just hearing those stories, just makes you, just gets it's almost like self-confrontation of things like what stops us. It's not really so much the outside. It's us. It's the inside, the something. But I just want to also look at it to just be in prayer, for our brothers and sisters that are in Philippines, Pakistan, in Russia, and everything, because definitely we have much more of a difficult task, like I say, that this is their way of life, is that they expect, when I talk about expectation, that's one of the expectations that comes. They know it's going to be hard, but I believe that they're like that the people that are there at the Red Sea, that they're not complaining about that journey, that they're like, wow, we're getting ready to see God move, in this situation. And they're excited about the challenge that's coming to actually bring them to another level in their faith, because they're going to see God move in that situation and come against those things, right, that are trying to stop the gospel from moving forward in those areas. So I just thought that was very exciting to be a part of. After this makes the position even a little bit more better situation graduation of faith. So I love SUM for that. Are we ready yet? For the past 2 minutes. Let's take, that's okay, we just start to do that, and then she got to so, okay.
This is real life unscripted church, you guys. Chapel.
So anyway, I'll just say that for the next week. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I can share something. I noticed that something I seen was when I first started students from the Philippines, they had one computer with like 20 students. They now have 20 computers one for each student. And I remember a while back when Pastor Curtis had mentioned we have been given a vision, and now that we're at SUM, we're given provision, meaning we are being equipped. For some, our tools are old, rusty, and they're coming to get sharpened. And for some, our tools are weak and narrow, and they're coming to be strengthened. And it's just a continuous growth pattern at SUM. I was excited to be at class 730. I'm excited for all my classes this year. I've had each professor, and I think I love that probably most about SUM is the relationship between student and professor, is their openness and willingness to hear you out and to also answer your phone calls. That is amazing. That's probably something I love the most about Pastor Curtis is his willingness to answer my calls and to listen to me and give me understanding. So I encourage everybody to stay ready, stay ready, stay ready. And even when you're ready, you're not ready, and it's going to be okay. Because God is good, and He is faithful, and there's a reason why He allows us to go through these things.
Amen. Amen. So, one thing we learned in the intro to pastoral ministry is that always, one of my presidents had from my former Bible college, I would say, always have a message in the Bible. So, always be prepared. So, what to do is go to Ephesians chapter 4. In verse number 11, and this is a focus for our Bible college. Together, this has become a focus that we have concentrations in the fivefold ministry. One of my favorite books from the fivefold class was called The Covenant Revolution, and that's where in that book it talks about how did we come from a fivefold focus, into a twofold focus. Meaning, how do we get from the place of having, the offices of five fulfilled within our ministries to a two, meaning that we went to just pastor and just teacher, and everything that we didn't, and then we didn't focus on the other ones, and so let's just read the scripture, then I'm going to go through some notes I have here. In Ephesians 4, starting at verse number 11. I feel like my granddaddy now. I never thought I would be doing all of this. With my glasses, trying to figure out, do I look over them, under them, or right through them? Anyway, praise God. Okay. Yeah, praise God. I just turned another year about a week ago, so yeah, I see it. And He Himself gave some to be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers, for the equipping of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, 13, till we all come to the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of God, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ, that we should no longer be children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the trickery of men and the cunning craftiness of deceitful plotting, but speaking the truth in love, may grow up in all things unto Him who is the head, Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and knit together by what every joint supplies, according to the effective working by which every part does its share, causes growth of the body for the edifying of itself in love. I love going back over scriptures and things that I've read before. You seem like even when you go back and there's something else that pops out that didn't, before, depending on kind of like what you're going through, what you're seeing, like, oh, I didn't notice that, but I see so much in this that I'm like, always it's been there, but it just sticks out, even more. So we read through the notes here. God gave us at least 5 types of leaders in the church: apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers. They exist to complete the members' growth and to equip them to serve. So they exist to complete, right? They don't exist to compete. They exist to complete. Amen? And their roles vary. For instance, the apostle, one sent forth to pioneer and establish new works and new leaders. The prophet, one who speaks forth God's word to inspire, correct, and motivate. The evangelist, one who shares Christ with outsiders and trains others to do so. The pastor, one who shepherds, guides, and guards God's people as they serve. The teacher, one who trains God's people into truth and reaches others to do so. So there's a couple of scriptures as we go through to keep, there with 11 through 16, and there's a couple of scriptures that I'll highlight as I go through some of the points here. So when the church fills these 5 offices, ordinary people get equipped for ministry. Ask yourself these following questions here. In verses 11 through 13, I want you to list those, and then that was it says, and he himself gave some to be apostles, right? Some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers, for the equipping of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, till we all come to the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to the perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. So here's the question. What eternally significant growth occurs in the lives of those you lead? So those that you lead, some of you may say, well, I'm not, in this position, I'm not that. But really, this is school what we say, we're servants of all. Right? Servants of all. And we actually are leaders that lead people to whom? We lead them to Christ, right? And I tell people sometimes, you're actually leading whether you think you're doing it or not. Somebody's watching you, right? Somebody's looking at you, and especially if you told somebody you're a Christian, they're really looking at you. They really want to see, even if they aren't one themselves, they're just waiting for you, to go against what they think is supposed to be what you're supposed to be to them, if that makes any sense. Their picture, what they believe is supposed to be, they're trying to see if you fit up and measure up to that, definition, even if they don't know the true definition. But somebody's always listening. Somebody's always watching. And so you could be leading in a positive or you could be leading in a negative way. So the question I have for you to think about, and these are just some things to ponder on as we look at this passage, is number one, and that piece right there is what eternally significant growth occurs in the lives of those whom you lead, those whom you have influence over, those who look up to you. If we look at verse 12, there's about 3 questions from verse 12 there. And remember, the first question there is, do our people understand that your role is to equip them to serve? Do the people that look up to you understand? Or do you even have an understanding that in your equipping, it's equipping people to serve, right? To be a duplicate of you. Many of you are, I've worked with you and you guys are great servants of God. You serve the Lord with gladness, And so that's what you're equipping others to do, to be that multiplication. I've been in certain situations sometimes where you would have leaders, that would want to duplicate you, right? They would want more of you, but they asked you to act like you were more of you. And then they worked like you were more of you, or they were their favorite. You were their one, and they wanted you, it's like, hey, we want to multiply, make more servants, but they actually really wanted more of you. And what we want is the Lord that's inside of us to be duplicated in others so that we can come along and serve. I know many times I would tell pastors, to instead of just having service together, can we do service together? Can we go serve together, in that way? And so then the next question I have for you is, how are the followers serving in ministry? So when we look at, again, the spirit of repentance, we're putting a focus on those who are connected to you, those whom God has basically called to be close to you. You can call them, they fit in the category of disciples. There could be, people that are in your family that are younger, that are looking up to you, that like hanging with you. You know that every kid in the world wants to hang out with Roy, right? Every child, no matter where we go. I thought he actually stole a baby at Six Flags yesterday. I saw him put a stroller, and I was like, "Whoa, what is he doing?" And he was not baby, it's everything, but they just love him. And then, the baby in the line, the lady was going to go get a stroller for her kid. She was, coming through line to go get the baby. And she just gives the baby, to Roy. And while she goes and gets the stroller, I'm just like, wow, he's definitely the presence of the Lord in these days. Nobody's just like handing their kid over to take off, brother. And then he recruits all these kids to come get on the water ride with us and everything. So it just has that, that's the way he attracts, the kids, everything. And I love that about him because it's not because he's a kid. Amen. It's just because of that spirit that he has in him. So he doesn't act immature, and that's a connection to that. He actually has a heart to where kids connect to that. This is, I believe, this is him, and they love being around him. But he knows how to be a mature leader in that sense to where they can look up to him and not disrespect him. And so that's a good question. So how are the followers and how people around you serving? And how are they, ministering? How is this duplication process taking place? Many of you that have been walking with the Lord, can you see the duplication? Can you see that there are multiplications happening, when it comes to serving in ministry with people that you have come into contact with? Next question for you all would be, to get into your first test. Do the people know that involvement in service is critical to their growth? Do they know that service is essential, to the growth? A lot of times we have people that will come into a ministry and they don't do anything, right? It's just about coming to service, but not really coming to serve. But that stifles the growth of a believer if they're not serving, because that's what we have been called to do. That's the way to put this into check and see, okay, how effective is my leadership? How effective is that? Next question I have for you is, do people grow spiritually mature as a result of the ministry involvement, or do you see people growing spiritually mature? And I think this can even be, with this, they call it like a standard or even a measurement, a type of measurement. When you're looking at ministry or looking at ministries and looking at the people, is being able to tell, okay, do they understand this growth? I've been involved in ministry for a while, and I know people that they will, they're good people, good-hearted people and everything, but when it comes to the time when it's time to go serve, it's usually just not, I won't say who they are. It's just like, it's not like they have never said, they never answer the question. They never answer the call. Like, can you come out? And you're like, and you think back, and I've never gotten an answer, but I've never seen you, so I guess I've gotten an answer. But it's like, what do we do, as far as the body of Christ when it comes to serving? That's another type of measurement, right? Yes.
Actually, this is a lot of my help
with formation.
And he was like, all of them was like, Christianity has become culture driven, like, that's what the sports in your class, competitive sport. We turn Christianity, our ministry, into a competitive sport instead of thinking about Jesus and to answer the question, we're quick to, you do this wrong, you do that different. I don't like that. But the reality is, where's the growth? If that's what we need to see, that's what we need to focus on. I know that's something you've been ministry to me is where's the growth? The Bible, the kingdom of heaven is growing. And if we focus on that, then it's like the blossom of the fruit. Because it's easy to point the finger as to what's wrong with somebody.
It's interesting when you say that because we get to a point too to where we don't look at that part, that piece, is the growth of a person. You know, is that we feel, I guess, that when they reach their, we've got this imaginary probationary period that we've given. Oh, you've been here long enough. Now, this is what I expect of you. You know, and again, we should see that growth, but we should remember how far has a person come from. We should be remembering how, you know, where did the person come from? You know, even those people would be able to celebrate that, you know, instead of, like we're saying, so much pointing out faults, you know, of each other. You know.
Professor Carter was like, wow. I was like, thank you.
Praise God. Okay, another question I have for you is, do the people's lifestyle reflect Christ's character? If the person's lifestyle reflects God's character, Christ's character. And so again, we have these measurements. And to me, what I'm talking about for these fivefold is that, you know, it's kind of like you have to, if you're in leadership, right, there's certain liberties, but there's also certain things that you have now put yourself in a place to where even though you may have permission, it's just not good, right? It's just not good because now you're in a place of leadership. And so again, leaders, you know, some people know how to cook really well, right? But if no one else knows how to cook, that like if the kids can't cook, then that really hasn't been a great leader. It's been a great, you know, provider, you know, so to speak, but it really hasn't been a great leader if you haven't been able to pass that down to, you know, to your children and for generations. Because it's not just how great that you can do what you do, but how can you cultivate that into someone else? How do you teach them to do that? And how do you have the heart, right? The heart of the God to say, I want you to do that better than me. I want you to have it better than me. Matter of fact, I'm not affording this, so I can't. How many times have you ever heard, this is a family secret? You know, this is a family secret. I can't give you this. Never say, well, I hope you don't die tomorrow. You know, it's supposed to get it away and then make it better. You know, make it yours or something like that. You become, you know, this is so-and-so, you know, recipe or what have you. But it's just something that's within our culture, you know. And a lot of times, you know, into the context as far as ministry, is that it's, you know, we do, I've heard this term, and sometimes I think the misuse of the term sometimes about the term, the personal possession of my ministry. You know, my ministry. And sometimes, you know, and I'm saying, you know, sometimes we take it to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? We take it to the extreme. Like, we got my ministry, and but then we'll take it to where when somebody's saying that personally, like, God's giving me this is my ministry, but then when somebody, you have this, when this is my ministry, and they have to continue to tell everybody, you know, around them that this is my ministry. It's just like, well, you know what? You're not going to have a ministry if you keep on talking about my ministry, because you have to know that it's his ministry, and the vision of God is enough, big enough for the vision and everything. And so we have to line those up and everything. And how do we come together and everything with what he's giving you, for what he's giving you. And when we really get to talking, I find out so many times that visions actually intersect. They cross paths. But if there's something about what you do or something about the thing that you hold that fits into that. We were being in class one time and we were giving presentations on, you know, ministries. It was a youth youth ministry class, these leadership ministry class, and it seemed as if everybody had a piece of, I went last, and I was presenting the ministry, but as I was presenting, it seemed like everyone in the class had fit into the presentation of a full ministry. Now, I had a teacher back then at that one time who was always into defining, always into narrow. She didn't like broad, if you give her a vision or you're talking to her to make a presentation, she'd be like, narrow the focus. So I knew I was going to go in there because I couldn't narrow it down any further. I was like, oh, she's going to get me, right? She's going to really tear this up. But as I went at the end, she was like, did you guys hear that? She's like, did you hear that? You guys need to get together. You guys need to get together. She's like, so you two need to get together, because it started tying in almost everything that had been said that had been presented individually. So when we understand too, okay, this is what he showed me, but I want to know what God's shown you, because we may find out that those connect together, and that we see why we're working together, why we're hanging together, why we are together, that it connects like that. So we have to be careful, but we have to make that assessment of what growth do we see within the individual? What growth do we see in their giving? What growth do we see in their serving? How do we gauge the effectiveness of how God is using me in order to lead others that are around me? I have two more questions for you. And this is this for you. Does it make you say, when you're in your devotion time, talking to the Lord, and just looking at, okay, Lord, show me, because sometimes we get into that place, am I doing what am I doing the right thing? Or am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Is this where I'm supposed to be, right? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this really it? Because a lot of times we gauge that by feeling how we feel. We usually gauge that by how we feel. And I don't agree with that because how many times have you not felt like doing something?
How many times today?
This one day, how many you felt like you didn't want to be wide awake, at 5:30 in the morning? How many times did you not want to go to that service, You're like, what, I don't think I'm going in today, but hey, you're about to, I'm going to call in today. That's what I was telling my wife yesterday, but we were at 6:05. I said, I'm going to call in tomorrow. I don't think I feel like I'm going to make it. I'm going to call in. And so, so we should gauge it like that. It's not about how we feel. It's about what he told us to do, right? It's about the obedience of I'm doing what he called me to do. But a lot of times you want to say, Lord, is this what I'm doing? And I'm saying some of these questions I'm giving you today, look at that growth in someone else. Look at, someone else is leading that you've been leading. Look at them and how they're moving forward. Look at how they're serving. Look at how their life is going. Everything. And even when it comes to this school, I want to just throw this in here. Your grade is a gauge. Man, it's a grade. It's a gauge. It's not a definition. It's not a definition. It's not a label of who you are. It's a gauge of the work that you're putting in. Amen. So it's like, hey, you want to raise it up, put in, more effort towards that, to get it up to where you want it to be. But again, it doesn't define you. So if you got, a bad grade, it's a gauge of the effort, not of who you are. And don't label yourself or allow anybody else to say your effort makes you a failure. Amen. You should increase your faith. Increase your relationship with the Lord. I need you, yeah. So in the last one is, okay, what percentage of our people's faith and involvement is easily shaken? Who can you look at, or even when you look at yourself? Somebody easily shaken. Does it take just something small in order to get me off, the track again? And does it take something, or does the same thing usually trip me up, even though I've been through it and he's taken me through it before? How many times, again, those of you that are starting over school again, right? When you look at the syllabus, sometimes it already started right there, right? When you look at the list of things that were going to have to be done, and if you saw something that said research paper. Right then, you know, it was already like, oh Lord, I'm that right there. I'm actually going in looking for, is there a paper that has to be done, you know, this trimester, you know, or looking at the number of reflection papers that's going to have to be done, you know, through the whole week. Is it every single week, you know, and everything? And so already there, your focus, you know, comes into, oh man, right? I got this. So, and we've been there before, but look at where you are. Look how far you've come. But you'll still go in, pull that syllabus up, or listen to that first day of class and be like, I got work to do. Well, it's college. It's the same thing, but it's coming in a different package. Again, remember with the unfamiliar, the unknown. Because, okay, maybe I haven't had this teacher before, or I don't know exactly what they want or what they're expecting, but it's, as we say right there, it's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to. Remember when anybody ever get a spanking, you know, I said a whooping, you know, and then tell your mom and your daddy it hurts? And then tell them, hey, it hurts. You know, it's like, okay, well, we are now meeting our goals, right? And so it is. It's supposed to hurt. It's actually going to help you be better. And if you do decide to go higher, you know, in your education, it is preparing you for more. It's preparing you and also preparing you to help others, you know, that are coming along and that are going to be in classes, you know, that you've taken. So are you easily shaken, you know, or do you stand stronger? What is time? 5 minutes? Okay. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys may have heard this analogy before, but we were planting trees in the ministry I was involved in when I was in Sacramento. And when we were planting the trees, there was just baby trees, real small trees, and then we had to put the, you know, the string with the stick and tie to the side. You know, you see those baby trees in there and they're tied to the side. So when they told us to do that, they told us that don't tie the string too tight. They said because you wanted to have room enough that when the wind comes, you wanted to be able to blow, you know, with the wind. Because with the wind coming, you don't want it too tight because it actually doesn't give it any, you know, any room for it to, you know, to move around. Because it says the wind, when it comes, it actually strengthens the roots to make it a stronger tree. And so you don't want too tight so that, you know, that it could be, you know, that it would sway, but you want it to be able to sway because the more it's able to sway, it knows how to stand stronger. It knows how to stand stronger. And so those things that are supposed to hurt and supposed to come, it's building you up. And guess what? How many of you in your interview said that you were called? Because I know they asked you, like, are you called? How do you know that you're called? Or they ask you, how did you know that you had a calling? And so I want you to remember that, right? Throughout this journey that we're starting on again, is when you get ready to do that midterm, that final, that paper, that Mardi Gras. And I know some of you guys have done, so you guys praise God. Look at that. See that reaction right there? It's not great for those who are still, you know, gonna go. Yes, that's not going.
I am not going to sugarcoat it.
But with that is that all of this again is helping you. God is using the package. Because you were called, because He set you in this place, in this atmosphere, in this school, is guess what? We gotta trust Him. I know you know what you're doing, right? We may not know, we may not trust many people, but we have to learn to trust the God in people. Amen? We gotta do that in that journey. So remember that as you guys start this new school year out. The last question I have is, do the people again that you around, the people that you lead, do they build up each other? Are you around, I mean, and even when you look at the circle too, as far as, are you with people who build up each other or tear down each other? What does that look like? I mean, because we should be building up each other, right? I don't know about you, but I don't want any part of my body fighting against the other. you know? And it's like, in this last journey with my health, it felt like that, it felt like one thing, will be fighting against the other. And so, it's hard, it feel like my brain fighting against my mouth, fighting against my thoughts, and stuff like that. So as a body, we should be encouraging. And you know what my grandma would say, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. And I look at her because my grandmother has always been just so encouraging. And, life is like that in so many ways, and people don't like that. People don't really like you when you're such an encourager. They really want you to, they be like, once you speak my language, and the language, the common language is not that that's uplifting. It's usually not that builds up. It's like, what we were saying earlier, it has been, fault finding and tearing down and things like that. And it's so easy to fall into that. But why is that? It's because, this people used to the fact of, what does the enemy do to us? What does he do to you? How does the enemy speak to you? Does he say you're so great in God? You're more than a conqueror. You're an overcomer. Did he tell you that? No. He says, who called you? Who do you think you are? Oh, you gonna make it? Oh, so you're supposed to be called. You're supposed to be a minister. Okay? It's basically he's lying, putting suggestions of lies into your thought process. And when you believe the lie, you empower the liar. So we have to be different. We can't look at, the things that are tearing and ripping down, because we're supposed to be lifting him up. And with us being made in the image of God, when we lift him up, we're lifting each other up. Amen? So I just want you to just ponder on these things as you go through this journey in this year, and help be that to each other, right? Lift each other up, encourage each other, be there for each other. Be that person on the sideline cheering, and when you see your brother down, when you see them having a hard time, let's make sure that we're there for each other so that we can basically be there cheering each other through that finish line, being the ones holding up Moses' arms, while the battle is going on, and let's make sure that we all cross that finish line, amen? Because when one crosses, we cross it together, amen? Amen. Praise God. God bless you. Love you guys, and I'm just excited about your futures. I feel like I sit in there with a pole, like I should run the president.
Let's give the Lord a hand, amen, for that word. I hope you guys are encouraged that you can ask these questions, because that's really how a research paper is. It's just you're asking questions of something that you want to know more about. And he's asking you guys questions to kind of do a self-examination, as the Bible says. Do a self-examination of who you are and where you stand right now as you start school. And so you can look back at the end of this year and say, wow, look at how much I've grown. Amen? So praise God. We do have a couple of viewers on our YouTube, so we want to welcome you and thank you so much for being a part of our chapel today. Thank you, Pastor Curtis, for that word. And officially back, amen, as doing our chapel.